overlay container position is what? Relative. And within this container, what do you have? Image. Within this container, what do you have? Image. See here. Where is image is put inside a container? See here. This is overlay container. This is what here? Overlay container. And inside this overlay container, you displayed what here? Image. So, but initially this overlay container, is it visible or not visible? Not visible. Overlay container is not visible. Okay, not visible. Overlay container is not visible. See here, position. Position is relative and width is given 25% and height is given what here? Auto. Auto mesh, that is based on which one? Container. Content. That is based on which one? Content. Image width is how much here? Image height is how much here? Image width is how much here? 200. Then overlay container width is what? 200. Because height is taken as what here? Auto. That is based on the content. That is based on what here? Content. So here you are saying overlay container over. You are saying top bottom. Opacity equal to what? 1. And height is given how many pixels here? 200 pixels. Now overlay container what? Over. But initially what is the opacity? Okay, initially what is the opacity? It is given some 0.3. Let me execute this. Okay, let me execute this. Okay, now this is, now when I move the cursor, okay, when I move the cursor, what is happening here? It is sliding from top to bottom. It is sliding from top to what here? Bottom. Top to bottom. It is sliding from top to bottom. Okay. So this is a overlay from top to bottom. But how you are doing this? For example, now see, so there is a division. Okay, there is a division. And what is the name of this division? Class. Okay, class which one? Top to bottom. It means already you displayed what here? Image. You displayed the image. And this is what here overlay container. And on this overlay container, there is a top to bottom. There is what here? Top to bottom. Overlay containers here. See how many, this is a overlay container. What is the size of overlay container? The size of overlay container is width is given is how much here? 25%. Height is given as what? Auto. Auto means based on the content. Okay, now this is overlay container and within this container, there is one content. Container is there. Within this, there is a content here. How many things are there in this container? Two things are there. Actually, how many things are there in this container? Two things. What is the first one here? Image. What is the first one here? Image. This is a container, right? This container is having image and this container is having what? Top to bottom sliding. It is also having top to bottom what here? Sliding. It is also having top to bottom what? Sliding. It is also having top to bottom what? Sliding. Okay, top to bottom sliding. Now you can see what is it visible? Can you see it is visible or not? Yes, it is. What is the opacity is given? 0.5. What is the opacity is given? 0.5. Suppose if I'm making this opacity as a 1, now you can see, okay, you can see this is what here? Top to bottom. See here. This is top to bottom. Image is there or not? Yes, see here. Can you see top to bottom? Can you see top to bottom or not? Yes. But this top to bottom is a division. Okay, division. It is a division. Okay. But when you move the cursor, what you're doing? What you're doing? You are trying to display the color. Color. You are filling the color from top to, yes, you are filling the color from top to bottom. So here I'm giving the opacity as what here? 0.5. I've given the opacity as what? 0.5. You can see the transition. So top bottom and you are saying overlay container hover. You are changing which effect, which property. So overlay container hover, which element property you are changing? Top bottom. You are making the opacity as what? 1. Height is given how many pixels? 200 pixels. Now you are changing top to bottom position is given what here? Absolute. Position is what here? Absolute. And transition time is given 0.9 seconds. And ease is nothing but slow at beginning, slow at what? Beginning, and at the end it will make it as what? Pause. That is called as ease. And what is the opacity is given 0.5, and width is given some 200 pixels, and border radius is given, height is given, and top is given, left is given, and background color is given as what? Some pink. But here height is given as what? 0. Height is given as 0, and top is given as what? 0, and left is given what? 40%, and this is a background color, and text alignment is given center. So what is the text alignment here? H2. What is the text alignment is given? Center. So whenever you move the cursor over the image, what will happen? It is trying to display this divisions here. This is a division. Okay, this division is sliding. How? This division is sliding how? Top to bottom. It is sliding how? Top to bottom. Top to bottom it is sliding it. When if you are moving the cursor, it is changing which color here? Background color. But initially, what is the background? See, you are changing the background color. But what is the background color initially? Overlay container is having the background color. What is the default? Some color is there. Opacity is given 1, and height is given how much here? 200 pixels. And position is given it as absolute, and transition is given 0.9 seconds, and opacity is 0.5, and width is given what? 200 pixels, and border radius is 5 pixels, and height is given what? 0. Height is given 0. But what is height is given as what here? 0, and top is given 0, and left is given 40%, and there is a background color, and there is what? Text alignment. Text alignment. See here, this is an image. I just remove the image. Okay, assume that here I remove the image. Okay, so there is a container. So there is a container is there. So there is a container. See, there is a container is there, and I just give this container. What is the container color I'm taking here as a black? Text color is what? Black. This is a container. And if I move the cursor, this is which container? See, this is what here? There is a container here. See, this is a container. Okay, there is a container. What is a container? What is a container here? Top, bottom, image overlay. But I didn't put any image. Okay, and there is a overlay container. See, this is a overlay container. See here. This is which container? Overlay container. Just see. Otherwise, let me explain you this. Okay, I remove all these things. Okay, there are two divisions out there. See here. There are two divisions. Okay, this is a overlay container, and one more is what? Top to bottom. Overlay. There is a overlay container, and there is what? Overlay. Two things are there. If you want to have an overlay effect, you require how many things? Two things. What is the first one? Overlay container, and one more is overlay. What is the first one? Overlay container. Second one is overlay. Okay, what is overlay container? This is overlay container. This is a overlay container. Okay, and what within the overlay container there is a container. This is a container. There is a overlay container, and this is what here? Container. And within this container there is one message. What is the message? Top to bottom image overlay or something. So top to bottom overlay. Okay, there is no image, right? Top to bottom overlay. Top to bottom overlay, right? Suppose, okay, now up to this is it clear, right? So there are two divisions. This is first division, and this is what? Container. Two things are there. Okay. Now overlay container. Now there is no image. There is no image now. Overlay container position should be given as what? Relative. That is what we learn. What are the basic steps? What are the basic steps for creating overlay? The basic steps is first you have to create what? Container. So use a container element to hold the content you want to overlay. A container can be a division, span, element, or what? Even an image. Okay. And set up the position, making it as what? Relative. so that any absolute position element inside, it will be positioned relative to what this container, relative to what this container, right? So this is overlay container and width is given 25%, height is given what auto, that is based on what container content, that is based on what content. Okay, so okay, now this is overlay container. Okay, this is overlay container. When you move the cursor on overlay container, then you need to put which effect? Overlay effect. You have to put which effect? Overlay effect. So overlay effect, overlay is what? Content. Overlay is what here? Content. Content, right? So when you move the cursor, you are you are using what you are doing? You are trying to define which effect? Overlay effect. Overlay. Overlay is what? Another. Overlay is what? Another content. Container. Another container. Overlay is what here? Another container. What is this container? Top bottom. What is the container here? Top bottom. And position, see this top bottom position is given what? Absolute. Position is given what here? Absolute. It means within the container. Within the container where it is displayed, absolute to what? Absolute to what? Container. Absolute to what? Container. So within the division it will display what? Division. Within the division it will display what? Division. Okay, then transition is given. Transition is given how many seconds? 0.9 second. Easy. Easy means beginning slow and next it is what? Fast. Okay, then opacity is given like this. Width is given how many pixels? 200 pixels. Because okay, width is a 200 pixels and border radius is given 5 pixels and height is given what? 0. And within the container where it is displaying at the top. Within the container where it is displaying at the top. And the left is given how much percentage? 40 percentage within the container. And the background color is given pink. And text alignment is a center. And text color is given what here? Black. Text color is given black. Okay, now when you move the cursor, now when you move the cursor, okay, when you move the cursor, it is giving which effect? Overlay effect. Means it is changing what? Or it is changing what? Background color. It is changing the background color. It is changing the background color of what? Container. It is changing the background color of container. What is the name of the container? Top bottom. What is this? It is top bottom. And you are changing position is absolute. Transition is given how many? 0.9 seconds. Easy. Opacity is 0.5. And width is initially it is 200 pixels. Border radius is given 500. But when you move the cursor, opacity is given what? 1. And then the height is given how many pixels? 200 pixels. Okay, 200 pixels. When if you move the cursor, if you are moving the cursor, you are changing which property? Top bottom property. Opacity is given what? 1. And height is given how many pixels? 200. But initially what is the height? Or initially height is what? 0. Initially height is what? 0. But you are changing the height to what? 200. Means it will change from 0 to what? It will change from 0 to what? 200. It will change from 0 to what? 200. 0 to 200. It will change from 0 to 200 like this. Okay, when I move, so it is changing from 0 to what? 200. 0 to 200. Okay. 0 to 200. You are changing which property element? You are changing the element property called top bottom. It is a class selector. What is the name of the class here? Top bottom. Top bottom. Okay. So here height is given 0 and top is given what? 0. Left is given how much percentage? 40 percentage. And the background color is given. Suppose whatever left is used here, you can use the same left. So width is given 25%. And here left is, suppose if I remove this left, what is the default left? Left, see here, left is, what is the default left? 0. Yes or no? What is the default left? 0. Okay. But you are moving. How much percentage? 40 percentage. I'm just giving left is what? 100 pixels. So left is 100 pixels. Now, how much space is given here? 100 pixels. That it depends on you. Now I just remove left. There is only height and there is what? Top. If I don't define the top, where it will display? If I don't define the top, where it will display? It will display relative to what? Container. It will display the relative to what? Container. Relative to container means what is the default top? 0 only. I don't require to define what here? Top. Okay, I'm not writing height. Suppose if I'm not writing height, what is the default height? If I'm not writing the height, what is the default height? Based on the content. Height is what? Based on the content. Height is based on the content. Now I'm defining the top. Height is given as what? 0. Height is given is 0. It means, is it that division is visible or not visible? Not visible, because you have given height as what? 0. But you are increasing the height from 0 to what? 200. But how you are increasing that height from 0 to 200? When you move the when you move the cursor. When you move the cursor, height is increased from 0 to what? 200. You change, and even you change the opacity to what? 1. And height is given how many pixels? 200 pixels. So which property, which element property you are changing? Divisional. So there is a class selector. What is the name of this class selector? Top bottom. Very simple. Okay, this is very simple. Now you can use left to right. Left to right means then you'll change what? You'll change what? Suppose this is top to bottom, right? So top to bottom means you give the height is what? 0. And when you move the cursor, you change the height to what? 200. If I want from bottom to top, if I want from bottom to what? Top. Bottom to top. See, this is top to bottom, right? I want from bottom to top. I want from bottom to top. What is the width, height? Width is there, height is there, left is there, right is there. Okay, every element is having width, height, left, right. Now this can be done by using which property? Position. Whenever you are using a position, you can use how many values? 4 values. At the left side where you want to display, at the right side where you want to display, at right, left, right, top, bottom. Left to right, top, bottom, which is nothing but height, width, everything you can change it. And you can even change the position by using what? Absolute or what? Relative. Absolute or what? Relative. Okay. Yes. So this is a position absolute. Only one thing. I think you understood this one. Okay. So initially, what is the height of this? What is the height of this overlay content? 0. What is the height of the overlay content? 0. So top bottom overlay, it is visible. This is visible, right? This is visible. This is visible. Okay, but if I'm making this as a 0, then is it visible or not visible? Not visible. Getting or not? But when you move the cursor to which one? Overlay container, then it will display. When you move the cursor to overlay container, then it will display. Suppose I'm changing this as 0, but anything is visible? No. But when I move the cursor, then it is visible. When I move the cursor, then it is what? Visible. Because you are changing the opacity, right? You are changing the opacity from 0 to, you are changing the opacity from 0 to 1. And you are changing the height from 0 to 200. You are changing the height from 0 to 200. You don't require to use all this. So width must be given. Background color should be given. Okay. So this is the overlay effect. From top to, this is from top to what here? Bottom. So you also given one more container. So inside this you also placed what? Image. You are using image. Image is so image is source. You are also placing what here? Image. So I'm writing images. Okay, there is an image. Now this is an image which you are displaying it. Now this is an image. But this image position has to be given or not? Yes. Yes. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. There is an image. And you have to use the image. Image properties has to be defined, right? You are using image. So image, so there is an image. So what is a selector here? Image. So there is an image and you are trying to define what? Width. You are trying to define the width of the container. Okay, you are trying to define the width as well as what? Height. So here I am defining the width. So width is given some 200 pixels. I am trying to define the height. Height is given again how many pixels? 200 pixels. I have given the width as well as what here? Height. I have defined the width as well as height. Now this is a width and what? Height. But where is the position? Position is what? You have to say position, right? Position is what? Sorry. Position is what? Relative. So position is what here? Relative. Position is relative. So position is relative, but where is the image? Overlay container. Position is relative. So within overlay container, you are displaying what? Image. Within, this is an image. Overlay container and there is an image. So within the container, you should display it, right? Within the container, you have to display. Now this image. Now this is an image. So this image is displayed within the container. Means it is relative or absolute? Absolute to what? Container. Absolute to container. If it is relative, then you have to define the left top and everything. But here I am displaying absolute of which one? Container. What is the parent here? Overlay container. So it means the overlay container is having how many elements? Two elements. One is a division and one more is what? Image. One is a division and one more is what? Image. One is a division and one more is a image. Right? So this is how you display. This is how you display. Yes. This is from top to This is from top to what? Bottom. So top to bottom. This example also I'll copy here. So this is top to bottom. But you have to understand this. Only two elements required. One is the overlay container and one more is content. Overlay container and one more is what? Content. Only two things are required. Nothing more on this. Only two things are required. Again, I am telling you, see here. Just see here. Okay, again, I am telling you, you required how many elements here? Two elements. One is overlay container and one more is content. Overlay container and content. Okay. So first you are creating which one? Overlay container. This is what? Overlay container. This is overlay container. Okay. This is overlay container. Okay. So I'm giving a class. Class. Okay. This is a class. Now this is called as overlay. Okay. Overlay. So overlay what here? Container. This is overlay container. Okay, now I'm trying to define. Okay, the style. Sorry. So I'm giving, now this is a division. Now this is called as overlay container. So I'm trying to give the style. Now dot, what is this here? Overlay container. This is a class selector, overlay container. I'm just giving the width of the container. So the width of the container is given. You are giving height of the container. This is the height of the container. Width is given, height is given. There is a suppose I'm giving a background color of the container. So this is a background color of what? Container. Now this is what here? Overlay container. On this overlay container, I want to have which effect? Overlay effect. I want to have which effect? Overlay effect. Now you also define what? Position. You also define the position. What is the position? Relative to parent. Relative to what? Parent. Who's a parent? No, no, here. For this division, who's a parent? Page. Page. Where is a page? Page. Body. Body or what? Page. Page is what? Relative. It will display relative to what? Page. It will display the relative to page. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then next, you have to create what? Overlay. Next, you have to create which one? Overlay. Division. Division class. Division class. What is this here? Overlay. This is an overlay. This is overlay. I just put a text. What is the text here? Overlay. So this is a text. Now this is overlay. Okay. Now dot. I'm just defining overlay. So this is overlay and I'm defining the width. Okay, width is given again same 200 pixels. Height is given again same. How many pixels? 200 pixels. And position. What is the position here? What is the position here? Absolute or relative? Absolute. Absolute of which one? Parent. So here I'm writing it as what? Absolute. I just written absolute and I'm defining the background color. I just define the background color. Now this is a background color is given. Okay. So the width is given and height is given. How much I'm giving? 300 and 300. Yes, it's 300 and 300. Okay, now only overlay is displayed. But behind this, there is a container or not? Yes. But I want this overlay effect when, if I move the cursor. When I move the cursor, I want which effect here? Overlay effect. When I move the cursor, then what I'll do? I'll define, I'll define what here? Transparency, opacity. I'm defining the opacity as what? 0.5. Opacity is 0.5. Now you can see opacity is 0.5 or I make this as what? 0. I just make the opacity as what here? 0. So 0, right? Opacity is what here? 0. Okay. Then next what I'm doing is I'm saying overlay dot overlay dot overlay container what? Hover. Dot overlay container hover. What do you have to do? What do you have to do? You have to change it. You have to change the property of which one? Overlay. You're changing the property of which container? Overlay. You are changing the opacity. You're changing the opacity to what? 1. You're changing the opacity to 1. But I want this opacity to be changed based on animation. Transition has to be given, right? So transition has to be given. Here I'm giving a transition. I'm giving a transition. So transition. How many seconds? 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds and what? Easy. So when you move the cursor to which container? Overlay container. See here, overlay container what? Hover. Means when you move the cursor to overlay container, this is overlay container, right? When I move the cursor, when I move the cursor, when I move the cursor, is it opacity changed from 0 to what? 1. But with ease, as how many seconds here? 0.5 seconds. This is animation duration. This is nothing but animation duration. I'm giving 1 second. I'm giving 1 second. Then what will happen? The animation duration is what? 1 second. And it is changing. It is changing what? The color. Color. It is changing the background color to what? Brown. So that is initially opacity is what? 0. Initially opacity is what? 0. Understood? So this is how you're doing it. Okay. Yes. Okay, now this is how you define the overlay effect. But this overlay, how it is displaying? This overlay, how it is displaying? It is just animating by changing the opacity from 0 to 1. But I want this sliding. I want it should be slide from top to bottom. I want it should be slide from top to bottom. Top to bottom means now you are defining the opacity as what? 0. And you define the height as what? 0. Height is also what? 0 pixels. You are changing the height is 0 pixels and top anyway. Top is what? 0. Okay. then this height you are changing from 0 to, you are changing this height from 0 to, when you move the cursor, you are changing this height from 0 to what? 300 pixels. You are changing this height from 0 to what? 300 pixels. When you are moving what? Cursor. When you are moving the cursor, the height is changed from 0 to what? 300. But how it is increasing this height? How it is increasing this height? You are increasing the height when you move the cursor, but by giving the transition time as what? 1 second. Okay, by giving the transition as what? How many seconds? 1 second, right? Getting or not? So that is when you are moving the cursor. When you move the cursor, it will change the color. You are changing the opacity to 1 and height is changed to what? 300, right? Okay, that is from top to bottom. Understood? Only two containers you required. You required only two containers. This can be applied. This hover effect can be applied to buttons. Okay, it can be applied to buttons. It can be applied to what? Drop downs. Okay, you can apply what? Hover effect. So this can be left, right, top, and one more is what? Bottom. Okay. So for reference, I'll try to put this also. Okay, now. Yeah, you can change any prop. Yeah, yes. While uploading, I'll increase it. Okay. So what is this here? You are changing. I mean, this is from top to bottom. This is top to bottom. Okay, here you can also put one more container. So what is it? Another container. You can also put one. You can also put what here? Image. Okay. You can also put what here? Image. You can also put image. Okay. You can also put what here? Image. Okay. Relative background color, text alignment. Okay. Height, absolute, not relative. This this is not relative. This is absolute. Relative means relative to the parent, or relative to what? Parent. So you have to take this overlay as what? Absolute within the container. Okay. Okay, fine. Now this is, yeah, I want, now let me see from bottom to top. Bottom to top sliding means now where you are defining, so only one thing, you are defining the height, and you are defining height, and height is given, but where you are displaying, okay, where you are displaying, now here you are define the top as overlay. Overlay top is given as what? Actually, what is the default top? 0 pixels. You are displaying this overlay. What is the default top? 0. Means it is displayed at the top 0. But now this overlay, you have to define what is the top? 0. But here I'm giving bottom. I'm giving bottom as which? How many pixels? 0 pixels. Now when I say bottom 0 pixels, now you are increasing. What you are increasing? Height. You are increasing the height. But where you displayed this at the bottom? What is the bottom value? 0. Within the container, you displayed this overlaid what? Bottom. Top is 0. Here bottom is what? 0. So when you move the cursor, so the height is increased. Height is increased. But it is increasing the height. But where it is displayed at the bottom? When it is displayed at the bottom, now you think that height is increasing from bottom to what? Top. It is increasing from bottom to top. But actually, it is changing what your positions here. What is the position is given? Bottom. How many pixels? 0 pixels. But if you don't give the bottom, okay, what is the default top? 0. You can give, see here, I'm giving a top is given some 10 pixels. If I give top is a 10 pixels, so it will move somewhere. See, now you can see there is a space here, right? Okay, what is this here? From top it is given how many spaces? 10 pixels. 10 pixels is given. Suppose if I am giving 100 pixels, if I am giving 100 pixels, now you can see there is a space is given here or not? Yes. Okay, now but here I am giving a top as how many pixels? 0. So 0. Top is what? 0. Is it visible or not visible? Not visible. Okay, now it is top is 0 because top 0 means it is it is placed in which position? 0 position within the container. 0 position within the container. 0 position within the container at the top. In the same way, if I am writing here bottom, here if I am writing a bottom, I am writing a bottom. How many pixels? 10 pixels. Now you can see there is a space. Is there is a space or not? Yes, there is a space at the bottom. If I'm writing 100 pixels, now you can see there is a space from the bottom. There is a space from what here? Bottom, right? So you can increase by defining which one here? Bottom. What is the value of bottom here? 0. When I say bottom is 0, now what is the sliding? Bottom to top. Sliding is from bottom to top. Okay, na? So just to try to understand, you have to change only two properties. One is a top and one more is a bottom. One is a top and one more is a bottom, right? Now I want from, okay. Now you can also put image, right? Here you can put even image source, images, kids like this. Now image, so width is given some container width, height is given some container height, and position is what? Absolute. Position is what here? Absolute, right? So now there is an image. Now this is an image, right? Your container is what here? Image. You're displaying what here? Image. So it is like this. Okay, you can also have an image. You can also have a image. Suppose, can you use the image as overlay? Can use the image as an overlay? Yes. You can use the image as what? Overlay. Can use the image as overlay? Yes. I can use the image as what? Overlay. Suppose not what do you call it as color. I want to use image as what? Overlay. Now here I selected image. Now this is an image. An image width is given and height is given and position is given absolute. Now this is a overlay and there is a overlay container. Okay, now here I define image what? Image opacity. Image opacity is given 0. Image opacity is given what? 0. Is it image is displayed or not displayed? Not displayed. Okay, then image, I want to display this image top. Top is what again? 0 pixels. And then I'm trying to define height is given 300, right? I just define the height is how many pixels? 0 pixels. And I try to define what here? Transition. I define the transition some 1 second. 1 second is 1 second is okay. Now opacity is 0 and top is 0 pixels and height is what? 0 pixels. Now when you move the cursor, then you have to change. You have to change the properties of which one? Image. Image opacity is 1 and height is given how many pixels? 300. Now here overlay. Which one is overlay now? Which one is overlay? Image. Which one is the overlay here? Image. Image is overlay. When you move the cursor, see when you move the cursor, which one is displayed? Image is displayed. When you move the cursor, which one is displayed? Image. Because here I use image as what? Overlay. Here I use image as overlay. So where I've given opacity 0 and top, now you can give in the place of top, you can also give what here bottom like that. So you can also give the bottom 0 pixels. Now this is from bottom to top. Getting on. So you can use color as, you can use a color, or you can use what image as an overlay. You can use a color or you can use image as a overlay, right? So fine. This is one more example here. Now this is from where bottom to, so this is from bottom to what here? Top. Bottom to top, because I've given bottom as what? 0. Okay. Yes. Now next, how to do left to right sliding. Now this is what here, left to right. Left to right means what you do? You increase what? Left, right. Okay. Hmm. What do you increase? Width. What do you increase here? Width. You increase the width. What do you increase is, you increase the width. Okay. Now initially width is given what? 0. And there is a top is 0 and left is also what? 0. Now you increase what here? Left. Increase what here? Left. Okay, you increase the left. You keep on increasing the left. When you move the cursor, or you increase the width, left is 0, and you increase the width, you increase the width when you move the cursor. You increase the width when you move the cursor. Okay. Now this is one more. So let me apply on, which one? Okay, let me apply on this. So there is a, again, there is a division. Okay, there is a division again. Okay. So within the, now container is there. This is a overlay container. What is the overlay container here? Suppose I want to take overlay container, this is overlay container, which is a division. Okay, now if you want, you can make this division background color. You can make this division what? Background color or background image. You can also display background image, right? You can display the background image, or you can display within the division one image. Okay, you can do anything, right? So division, this is a overlay container. This is what again? Overlay container. This is overlay container. Okay, so overlay container. So I'm styling overlay container. So there is a overlay container. This is a overlay container, and I'm defining the width of the container. So width of the container is given some 300 pixels, and height of the container is given again 300 pixels. And I'm trying to define the position. Position is relative to what? Parent. Relative to what? Parent. And there is a background color is given. So assume that this is a background color. Okay, this is what your background color. Now this is my overlay container. This is a container. On this, I want what? Overlay. But that sliding should be done from where? Sliding should be done from where? Left to right. So there is a overlay. There is a division. Now this is a class. What is the name of the class? Overlay. The name of the class is overlay. Now this is from left to right. This is from left to right. Okay, now this is H2. I've just given H2 here. Okay, some. Okay, this is left to right. So there is a overlay. I'm writing here overlay. This is a class selector, and where I'm defining the width. The width is given 300. Height is given what? 300. And position is what? Absolute. Position is given as what? Absolute. Position is absolute. And top is what? 0. Okay, top is 0. And left is what here? 0. Left is what here? 0. Top is 0 and left is also 0. Left is 0. Top is 0. Anyway, by default, top is what? 0. And left I'm giving it as 0. And width is given 0 pixels. Width is given how many pixels? 0. Okay, then I'm also defining what? Background color. I'm defining the width is already given. Okay. So what is the width I'm giving? Okay. So width is given 0. Okay, width is given how many pixels here? 0. Width is 0 and this is overlay effect. Okay, now there is a background color. I just define the background color here. Now this is a background color. And then you define what? Transition. You define the transition. 1 second is right. This is a transition. Now what will happen if I okay now there is a background color, height, position, everything. Okay. Now you can see left to what here? Right. But when you move the cursor, when you move what here? Cursor. When you move the cursor, when you move the cursor, you should change it. When you move the cursor to which one? Overlay. Overlay what? Container. Overlay container what? Hover. Overlay container hover. You are changing what? Overlay effect. Okay, overlay effect. Now here you are changing the width. What is the width I'm giving? 300 pixels. And I'm just giving that's all. Okay, opacity. Now here you give the opacity as what? 0. So what is the opacity is given? 0. But I'm changing this opacity from 0 to 1. So what is the opacity is given? 1. 1 is the opacity. Right, fine. Now this is when you move the cursor. When you move the cursor, it is changing what? Width. It is changing the width. It is changing the width. It means it is sliding is from where? Left to right. Sliding is from left to right. If you want from right to left, so left is given 0, right? In the place of left is 0, you have to give right is what? 0. I'm giving a right is 0. When I say right is 0, okay, when I say right is 0, it is from right to left. So left is 0 means left to right. So don't ask me like all left to right to part. No. Okay. Yes. Can you change it? No, no, yes. Yeah. Huh? Yes or no, no? Yes. Okay, now see here. This is from left to right. Can you put more than one image? Yes. You can put more than one image, but you can over on only one. You can put more than one, but you can over on one. If you over on one, okay, you can display different animations. Different containers, you can put different animations, right? So now, now here, this is right to left. If it is right to left, you have to make right equal to what? 0. If it is left to right, you have to make left equal to what? 0. Left equal to 0. Now this is left to right. This is left to right. Okay, and right to left also. I'll copy it. This is an example here. Now this is left to right. So if you change it, if you change which property? Right. So this will become right to left. This becomes what? Right to left. Okay, right to left. So this is an example of right to what here? Left. Okay, right? So this is how you are changing it. So you are changing these properties. You are changing which properties? Overlay properties. Overlay is also already having some properties or not? Yes. What are the properties are there? Height is there, position is there, right is there, width is there, background color is there, transition is there, and opacity is what? 0. It means these properties are inherited here or not? Is it change only width and height, or these properties also there? This property is also there. You are changing only which property? Opacity, and one more is width. You are changing only opacity and what? Width. So when this opacity and width is changed when you move the cursor, but remaining properties are inherited or not? Yes. If you don't want this, see, you can write this here also. You can write this here also. When you hover, when you hover, because these are initial properties. These are which properties? Initial properties. Suppose I make right is 0, width is 0, background color transition, and transition 1 second. Okay, this is opacity is what here? 0. Opacity is 0. Can I write here? Can I write background color transition 1 second like this? Here. Can I write here? I write here. Width is 300, opacity is 1, background color and transition is how many seconds? 1 second. Okay, 1 second transition I've given. Getting or not? Okay, it means you can write here also. Means when you are saying one class is like this class, what is the name of the class? Overlay. Class is there. This is class. This class already having some properties. And you are changing which properties here. This class is already having some properties. See here. Already having some properties. But you are changing only two properties. What is that property? Width and opacity. You are changing only width and what? Opacity. Remaining all are inherited or not? Yes. Same properties will be inherited here. Same property. Overlay class is having some properties. Within that, you are changing which property? You are changing which property? Width and opacity. Getting or not? You don't think that you have to write this here only. These are initial. Initial, but initial you can also write here also. When you move the cursor, you want to apply, you want to increase the width, you want to increase what? Transition. Transition you don't require to write here. You can write transition here also. You can write transition here also. You added one new property called which one? Transition. When when you move the cursor. When you move the cursor. When you move the cursor, it is changed what here? When you move the cursor, it is changed what here? Width. Width is given 300. But it's changing a width. It is changing the width by giving animation time as how many seconds? 1 second. 1 second is animation time. Ease means it started what? Slow. It will not increase the width directly. It will not increase the width directly. It increases the width slowly. That is what you mean by ease. Yesterday we have seen ease in, ease out, something is there, no, right? Okay. Okay. Now, can I change more than? More than, right? Suppose left to right, huh? Left to right means what will happen? You suppose you want to change the width as well as what? Height. Or you can also apply what? Transformation. Transform means you can do overlay by rotating it. You can do overlay by rotating it. Rotating also you can do it. Suppose you want to rotate. You want to rotate how many degrees? 45 degrees with ease. Okay, you want to rotate 45 degrees with ease. For example, see here. Okay, will I have one more example? No, this is overlay container. There is a overlay container. See here. This is a overlay container and this is overlay. Dot overlay is there. This is overlay. Okay. And what is initially you give the width? So width is given. Overlay width is given. Width. I'm giving width is only some 200 pixels. Okay, 200 pixels and height. So I'm giving a height. Height is how many? Some 200 pixels. Inherit means I can use even width height as inherit. Inherit when if it is a parent. Suppose overlay. For this overlay, which one is a parent? Overlay container. Okay, take the width and height of the overlay container. But here I've taken width as 200. Height is what? 200. Width is 200, height is 200, and you can also define position. Position is what? Absolute. Position is absolute. Where you want to display, you can define the left top, you can define the left top, bottom, right. You can define left top, bottom, right. But what is the default left top? 0. What is the default left top? 0. What I'm doing is I'm changing the left. I'm changing the left to see here. I just change the left. I change the top. I change the top to how many pixels? 100 pixels. I just given 100, and I just given the background color. So some background color I've given. Now this is a background color is given, right? So this is overlay. This is what here overlay. So I've given top. I've given a top. So height also, I'll just decrease it. Some 100 pixels and left. So width also 100 I'll give, and then I'll change the left. So left position is given some 50 within the container. So 50 or some 70 I've given within the container. If you want, you can increase the height. So height is given some 200 here, right? 200 is, so I give 100. Okay, now this is within the container, you have a container. So what I'm doing is, okay, now I just define the opacity. Opacity is given how much here? 0. 0 means visible or not visible? Not visible. But when it should be visible? When you hover. When you hover, now you are saying overlay. Overlay what? Container. Overlay container what? Hover. Overlay container hover. You are changing what? Overlay. What you are changing? You are giving transition. You are giving what here? Transition. So you are giving a transition. So transition is given. Okay, transition. And which one you want to change? Okay, transition is given 0 0.5. 0, some 1 second. Okay, 1 second, and what is? 1 second is, and then you are doing what? Transform. Okay, transform, and I'm just writing here what? Rotate. I'm saying rotate. Rotate how many degrees here? I'm just giving it as a 90 degrees. Transform. Okay, transform to how many degrees here? 90 degrees. So when you move the cursor, opacity, you should change the opacity to, you should change the opacity to what here? 1. So this is when you move the cursor. Uh, Stepender. Okay, now when you move the cursor, now what happened? It is rotated. When you move the cursor, then rotated. Not left to right, not to left to right, not to top to bottom. Okay, not to top to bottom or left to right. It is just rotated. So that rotation, you can do it by using which one? Rotate. So rotate. But initially, you can also define the initial. Okay, rotate, I said 90 degrees. You can define number of. Now how many seconds I have given? 2 seconds. You can give how many degrees? 180 degrees. I said 90, right? This is how many degrees? 180. So 180, but I will give 360 degrees. I just given how many degrees? 360 degrees. Rotate. How many degrees? 360. Complete. So complete is 360 degrees. When you move the cursor, when you move the cursor, it is what? Rotated. How many degrees? 360. So that can be done by using transform. So transform, you can apply so many things like rotate, and you can also give what? Skew. You can give the skew. Skew is nothing but stretching it. Okay, now you can define the degrees. This is also degree, right? So how many degrees? I just given 20 degrees. Okay, skew 20 degrees here. Okay, skew. See here, this is skew. Okay, now this is called as what here? Skew. Now you can give minus also. So 20. I just given minus 20. Now this is which side is skew? Left, skew what? Right. Okay, now I've given skew is how much here? 20 degrees. Now this is also you can do it. Okay. Now there is a skew and there is also, you can also increase what? Width and height. How you can increase width and height? How can you increase? By using which one? Translate. Translate is for position. Huh? Yes. You can also change what? Position. You can also change the position by using what? Translate. You can also change the position to translate. I'm just giving 0 comma what? 0. I just given 0 comma 0. 0 0 what? Pixels. X position is 0 and Y is also what here? 0. That is when you move it. But within the container already it is same, right? X and translate. Translate X and Y. 0 0. I just given 0 and what? 0. You can also give translate which position you want to move it. That is defined by using what? Translate. That is done by using translate. You can apply all the transform effect. So that is rotate. You can also increase the width and height. Make it degree. So same if you see, right? Same height and width. If it is same height and width, you cannot. What is the height is given? 300. Container is what? 300 and 300 will remove top and what here? Left. So if you move it, it is like this. Okay, now remove the skew. Okay, right? So all these things are different effects, right? So all these are different effects which you can use it, right? Yes. Now this is how you are doing hover. So you also have some 2D and 3D. You can define all the hover effects. So let me tell you one example. So let me tell you one example. I said you to develop that. Now I said here, now let me develop a one card. So one card belongs to which one? IPL. Now here teams are there, right? Teams are there. And these are the cards. Now this is one card and this is one card. Two cards are there here. Okay, na? So there are two cards. Now this is a container. What is a container? See, this is overlay container and this is overlay. This is overlay container and this is overlay. Okay. Now we'll have an overlay container first. We'll develop overlay container. So let me develop one card, not all the cards. Okay, now first I'm developing overlay container. So here there is a overlay container. So this is a card. And always whenever you are talking about card, card is having header as well as what? Footer. Okay. So what is the header here? Image. There is an image, right? Header is an image. There is an image there. Okay. So there is a division. This is what here? Class. Now I'm giving this as overlay. Overlay what? Container. Overlay container. And within this, you have what here? Image. So we should have an image. Which image? Chennai Super Kings. Icons or something, right? Okay, right? So I'm copying in images. So in images, you have one image, Chennai dot PNG. So this is saved as what here? PNG, right? Any image you can take, no problem. Okay, now there is an image. Okay, there is an image is source, and I'm just writing here images. Okay, Chennai dot PNG. So what is this here? Image. Now this is a container. Okay, this is what here? Container. Now here I'm writing. So what is the name of the class? Overlay container. So this is overlay container. Within the overlay container, so there is a class. What is the class here? Overlay container. And you are trying to define the width of the overlay container. So container width, I'm giving some 300 pixels. Height also I'm giving as a 300, and I'm trying to define the position, and the position is given what a relative. So that is a width and height. So width and height, and then I define the background color. So some yellow, right? So but this image is not transparent, right? Is image is transparent image? No. This image is not transparent image. No problem. But we'll just take that image. It is not a transparent image. Now you have to take without background color, right? Transparent image you have to take. Which image you have to take? Transparent. So this is transparent. Okay. This is transparent. So one dot PNG. So you have to take transparent here. So this is one dot. So transparent, and this image you have to fill the color. What you have to do is you have to fill the color here. This is transparent, right? This is transparent means you have to fill. What you have to do? You have to fill the color. It is a transparent. Okay, let it be. We'll have a Chennai.png, and you define background color is defined width and height position, background color. Then next I'm taking image. Image position. Image position is given absolute, and you are trying to define top. So top is given some 50 pixels. Top is given some 50 pixels, and then so left, I'm giving left is how many pixels? Some 50 pixels. Okay, 50 or some 10 pixels here from left. Okay, like this, or 20 pixels, and I try to define the width. So width of the image, I just define the width of the image. So this you can say width of the image, and I try to define the height of the image. So there is a width and there is what here? Height. So there is a width of the image and height of the image. So we'll give 100. So we'll give 100 here. So that is a width and what? Height. Then I move left side. So left side is moved. What is a 120? I just given 100. Okay. So this is given 100. Okay, and after that, I've taken only one color, not multiple colors. I've taken only one color. If you have two colors, I said no, you have to create one background. You have to create one background. But here I've taken how many colors? Only one color. One color. And within this, I'm writing, there is one more. So there is one more. What you are writing here? Division. And there is a division. What is this here? Footer is there, no? So this is a footer. What is a footer is given? So there is a footer. What is a footer? Chennai Super Kings. So there is a footer. So this is what your footer. So this is what your footer. Now there is a footer is there. Chennai Super Kings is what your footer. So this both. Okay, this is a footer. Now you just given this as what your division. This division. Okay, now this position is what your absolute. Absolute. And there is a yes. If I'm writing here H2, it will display below. If I'm writing H2, it will display what here below. No, H2, Super Kings are displayed. But where you want to display this H2, you can give the position. You can give the position of what H2. You can define the position of what here H2. H2. H2 what again? Position. What is the position here? Absolute. What is the position here? Absolute. I just taken position as absolute and define. Define what here? Top. Okay, top, or you can define it as what? Bottom. So bottom, you can just give. What is the position? Suppose I've given 20 pixels. Bottom 20 pixels is given. Okay. I try to move up. How many pixels? 50. I just define the left. So how many pixels you want? Now left is some 20. Left is given some 20. Okay, 20 or what? 30. So this is left. Okay. Now this is a container. Which container? Overlay container. This is overlay container, right? Then next you have to create. Next you have to create what? Overlay. So there is a overlay division. So division. What is this class? Class is what here? Overlay. This class is overlay. Overlay is a class. Now within this overlay, you should have what? Images. Okay, in this you should have images. Images are there or not? Yes, you have an images. There is an image. What is that? Super Kings and CSK and Cup and 20, all this. You have to take this image or not? Yes. So take this image. Maybe CSK outline, huh? Something. Okay. Okay, but this is container, and within this container, I just display CSK and image, CSK and image, and we should have also cup, IPL cup. We should search this again. So this is an image. Okay, this is an image here, and I'm using image, and the source is what is the source? Images. Okay, images IPL cup dot JP. Now this is an image. Okay, this is an image which is displayed or not? Yes. But where this image is displayed? In the division. This is overlay, right? Overlay. There is a overlay. So I'm writing overlay. So what is the name of the class selector? Overlay. I'm just defining opacity as what? 0. Now is it visible? No. Okay, not visible. Now this is an image. This is an image. And there is a what do you have to display here? One more. So multiple images are there. Then you have to take this in another division. And here I'm just writing it as a, okay, I just take an image and this overlay, I define what background color. This overlay background color is defined. Now assume that this is some background color. So this is some background color. I change the opacity to 1. So this is a background color. So you have to define overlay. What is this here? Width. So what is the width of the container? 300, right? So I just define the width as what here? 300 pixels. And try to define the height as also 300. So width is given and height is given. Is it visible? No. Okay, now this is header. Header is there in the division. Okay, this is a header. Okay. So when you move the cursor, then you should apply. When you move the cursor, then you should apply overlay. When you move the cursor, you should apply what? Overlay effect. Overlay effect. So what do you do it? Uh, dot, yes, overlay, dot overlay. What is this? Container hover. Sorry, hover, hover. What do you have to do? Overlay. I'm just writing overlay, and here I define opacity. Opacity is what here? 1. But initially opacity is what? 0. And I'm changing the opacity to what? 1. And you also define what? Transition. 1 second is. Okay, 1 second and what? Is. Like this. So that is when you move the cursor. So that is when you move the cursor here. When you move the cursor, now you make 1 second, right? You make more. Then it just display it. Suppose 0.5. It is 1 second, right? Animation time. I'm just giving 0.1. I just write 0.1. 0.1. See here. 0.1 means it just displayed. That's it. It is just displayed. Here also it is just displayed. When you move, it is displayed. Any transition is there? Here any transition is there? No. Transition is there, but you are given how many seconds? 0.1 second. It is given how many seconds here? 0.1 second. But you have to develop like this. You have to develop like this. Okay, na? Yes. Now this is how you work with which effect here? Overlay. And here you also learn transformation, transition, as well as positions, absolute as well as relative, right? Now we'll see more on this like CSS tomorrow, right? Today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue, right? Thank you, right?